passionate about A Course in Miracles, as a lot of you guys know, and so I get the opportunity to talk to you guys about that today, which is one of my favorite things to do. About 2 weeks ago, Carol Mahaffey was here, and she is our founding minister. And when she was here, I'm just going to tell you a little story about a miracle. When she was here, I was volunteering in the office, and one day she came in and she said, I really want to have a Course in Miracles group here. And I was like, what is a Course in Miracles? I had no clue. This was probably 8 or 9 years ago. And that very same day, I talked to my mom, who was down in Naples, Florida, and she said, I have just joined a Course in Miracles group. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that's interesting. So then the next day, I'm back in the office, and the phone hardly ever rings here during the day, but the phone rang. And I picked it up. This is, hello, Unity of East Louisville. Did my formal little greeting that Carol wanted me to do. And on the other end of the phone was this woman named Nelda. And she was a devoted course student. She had been a devoted course student for like 20 years. And she said, I want to start a group. Would your church be interested in hosting it? So that was when I decided I needed to pick this blue book up. And then Nelda taught for a little while, and then we started teaching together. And then I have been teaching now for about 7 or 8 years, and it's just been a joy. So I want to share some things with you guys today. If it goes over your head, if it doesn't, if you can't absorb it, that's okay. But most of you guys are new thought people, so I think you're going to get this. You're so smart. If you don't and you want to talk about it afterwards, feel free to come up to me and we can talk about it. So this is A Course in Miracles. It is not a light read. It is a deep dive into consciousness, but it is so worth the effort. And it is going to be very, very challenging for me to summarize any of all of this in 20 minutes, but I'm going to do my best. The goal of the course is to retrain your mind, which is at the core of all of our problems. So this is a course in mind training. The course teaches that everything you are experiencing is actually just a projection of the mind. In order to change the experience, we have to train our minds back into love. And in order to do that, I have to start where the problem begins, which is my beliefs and my desires. So here's a screen up here. I just want to give you guys some kind of example of this. If I were to go to the screen right now and try to change that, if I saw an error on it, I couldn't do it, right? I would have to go back to where Pat is, to the projector, to the operating system, and change it from there. This is what the course is teaching us, that everything is a projection from your own mind. So through your school systems, your government systems, your religious systems, the black little gadget in your hand, the TV on your wall, the commercials, your family ancestry, you've been trained to believe in illusions of fear, doubt, judgment, competition, guilt, etc., etc. Every piece of information that the modern Western mind has encountered has and is training you and programming you. We are being asked to challenge all of that. The Course is inspiring us to take back our minds, that they are once again in alignment with love. We are being asked to begin to train our minds to discern what is real and what is not real in this life experience. And we do this by practicing 365 lessons, one each day, with supporting text. And slowly, this old thought system can begin to become undone. So I want to read you the introduction, and I'll go through it slowly, and I'll try to break it down for you a little bit. It says, this is a course in miracles. It is a required course. So right off the bat, don't get overwhelmed. Because I know when somebody tells me something's required, I'm like, what the course is saying about that is basically that the principles that are being taught in this book are principles that you will need to understand to evolve in your consciousness, if that's something that you want. So, and you can evolve in consciousness all sorts of ways. It doesn't have to come through A Course in Miracles, but this is a wonderful guidepost for you. And then it says, only the time you take it is voluntary, because you have free will. This is a universe, or this is a 3D experience where we are given free will, and that cannot be interposed. So it's up to you. You have to decide if you want to study these things. Free will does not mean that you can establish the curriculum. So that means that, well, our egos want to go in and change some of this stuff. Our egos listen to some of this stuff and go, I'm not falling for that. I'm going to fight this. I'm going to resist this. But this is the truth, and it cannot be adjusted. So you can't mess with the curriculum. It means only that you can elect what you want to take at a given time. The course does not aim at teaching the meaning of love, for that is beyond what can be taught. It does aim, however, at removing the blocks to the awareness of love's presence, which is your natural inheritance. So slowly, systematically, you begin to become aware of the blocks or the obstacles to your peace, to your knowing, to your truth. The opposite of love is fear, but what is all encompassing can have no opposite. And this is a course of pure non-dualism. So in a non-dualistic world, there are no opposites. That's what that is saying. This course can be summed up very simply in this way. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. So that last sentence is sort of like, well, what the heck does that mean? Nothing real can be threatened, nothing unreal exists. So I've been contemplating this now for 8 years. Still working on this one. The course does not compromise. No. Every emotion or experience you have this is what it's saying, is either real or unreal, which is really a hard thing to kind of wrap your arms around. There is no in-between. It is a course based on absolutism, pure non-dualism. So what's real that can't be threatened meaning threatened means that it would end, is what's eternal, and that's only love. Only love. And what is unreal, all the fear, all the guilt, all the shame, all the competition, that's unreal, according to the course. So mind training is a little like going to the gym to build your muscles. With mind training, you go to the course to build your love muscle. That's how I like to say it. And as you notice, this little guy has some sweat beads on his forehead because, as y'all know, it's when you go to the gym, it's not easy work, and this is not easy work either. It begins with the simple yet humble awareness that the thoughts you are having are not serving you. So to begin to stand back from your thoughts and beliefs and become the objective observer. It is said we can have as many as 45 or more thoughts per minute without even knowing it. It's crazy to think about how many thoughts we are having, and the Course calls that sloppy thinking. That we're not consciously aware or paying attention to these thoughts that we're having. So we begin with conscious awareness of our thoughts and beliefs, and then we begin to discern if they are real or unreal. And remember, real thoughts are the loving thoughts. Unreal thoughts are simply everything else. Loving thoughts include thoughts of harmony, generosity, peace, eternal expansion of consciousness. Unreal thoughts include thoughts of fear, lack, competition, comparison, insecurity. The ego is said to control all the unreal thoughts. So the ego is in charge when you're having unreal thoughts, according to the Course. But the Course offers the answer to that and says that the Holy Spirit can help you to perceive this differently if you ask. So then your thoughts can be transformed by the Holy Spirit into real thoughts. Slowly, slowly, we just begin to change these thoughts, become aware of these thoughts, and we peel back the layer of the onion, in a sense. I don't know if any of you guys like Jim Carrey. I'm a big fan of Jim Carrey. I didn't used to like him. I used to think he was really obnoxious. I was judgmental. And then he has had this mystical awakening over the course of these last probably 15 or 20 years. In 2009, I want to quote him because I thought this was such a beautiful story. He said, "A few months ago, after knowing Eckhart Tolle for a while and studying the books, I woke up and I suddenly got it. I understood suddenly how thought was just an illusory thing, and how thought is responsible for, if not all, most of the suffering we experience. And then I was suddenly looking at these thoughts from another perspective, and I wondered, who is it that is aware that I'm thinking? And suddenly I was thrown into this expansive, amazing feeling of freedom from myself, from my problems. I saw that I was bigger than what I do. I was bigger than my body. I was everything and everyone. I was no longer a fragment of the universe. I was the universe." So beautiful. And then he says, and ever since that day, I've been trying to get back there. So I can totally relate to that. I'm sure y'all can too. I am constantly forgetting so that I can remember again. Because I've studied this course with devotion doesn't mean I am always able to live by its principles. Talking about it and living it are two different things, right? I struggle with this 3D experience as much as anyone. I experience judgment. I experience insecurity. I experience overwhelm. I experience physical aches and pains. I experience heartache. I experience confusion. But I really, really want peace. So I just keep studying. And slowly, 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 I have more and more and more peace in my life. When I'm out of alignment with love and I feel I'm struggling, the Course says, this is my cue. This is the signal to wake up. It's time to wake up. This is exactly when I'm being asked to remember that I have forgotten who I am in truth. And my job is to train my mind so that it remembers again. So, essentially, we are living in a temporary illusion of separation from love, a matrix, sort of a hologram of sorts. If any of you guys have ever seen the movie The Matrix, that's a really good course teaching movie for kind of laying out this kind of consciousness that we're actually in. We're in a temporary physical experience of free will where we think we have left the love of the Creator and forgotten who we are in truth. But it's only a thought. It's not real. The great thing is we can't ruin our true essence. It's not possible. None of us, not one single person on this earth can ruin, or ever can ruin, or ever has ruined their true essence. Nothing you have ever done or ever will do will separate you from your true essence of love. In no uncertain terms, you are love, you are made from love, and you will return to love. Thank you. Every experience you think you are having is an opportunity to strengthen your love muscle. Contrast teaches us what we don't want. It's a necessary teaching tool, and it's just a teaching tool. The Course teaches us how to choose between the contrasting options, and it becomes this miraculous process. Miracles are transformations of fear to love. We forgive it so we can transform it. To heal our error thoughts and beliefs. It is really the whole reason we are here. I'm sure that's a big statement, and you're going, But the whole experience is, according to the Course, a huge forgiveness lesson. It's a huge lesson in forgiveness. We think we've come here to chase all of our false idols, is what the Course says. To have a career, to get married, to make money, to have status, to have fame, to have power. But the Course says that's not why you're here. The reason you're here is to learn how to forgive. And if I'm not at ease, this is how I know I need to forgive. If I'm not at ease, as the Daily Word said, if I'm in dis-ease, then I know a forgiveness lesson waits for me. And it'll wait patiently. If I'm judging anything or anyone, if I am making someone else or something else guilty, a forgiveness lesson waits. This doesn't only apply to all my relationships with other people, it applies to the weather. Sometimes I judge the weather. I don't want it to be like that. Or I judge the broken refrigerator. I get mad, right? Or I don't want to go up and clean up all the leaves that are in my yard right now. Or my aching foot, or my own self-condemnation when I speak without thinking and I insert foot and mouth, right? When I judge the wars or the politicians. That is dis-ease. Every single form of dis-ease within my experience, my mind is creating. Once again, absolutism. So forgiveness is also, this concept is a little bit hard to understand, and it's still something I'm trying to wrap my arms around too, but the Course teaches that forgiveness also is not taught in the traditional sense of perceiving someone has wronged you, and you are on this pedestal, and you're going to be so kind as to extend a letting go or something to that person, quote, below you, but inside you're still holding the grievance maybe in some sort of way. It's knowing that you are the one projecting the mirror in your life, so it's all coming from your projection. And that person or situation you are perceiving is actually you. Perception is a mirror, not a fact. What we see is not an objective world. It is the subjective world that you are creating. So whatever I look on, doesn't matter if you're looking at it on the television or in this room or in your family or whatever you look on is my state of mind. The Course is asking us to be completely responsible for this. There is no one or no thing to be separate from, and essentially you are forgiving yourself. So I know that might have gone over your head. That's okay. This is hard stuff to understand. And it is so different from everything, like I said before, that we have been conditioned to believe in. But the rewards of incorporating a forgiveness practice into your life are so exponential. When I feel diseased in any way, I use this as a tool, and I'll immediately stop what I'm doing. I go and I sit down and I start reading the Course. I do a lesson every day, and I try to reflect on it both morning and night, and I've been doing this for 9 years, and it is a commitment to retrain my mind. But, like I said before, my peace just keeps growing. Things keep shifting in my life. I have much less anxiety. Things don't stir me up like they used to. I lean into this and I want peace, and so the universe is giving me peace. So I just want to read quickly the last thing from the Course, and this is a section called What is the Real World? The Course says, the real world is a symbol, like the rest of what perception offers. Yet it stands for what is opposite to what you made. Your world is seen through eyes of fear and brings the witnesses of terror to your mind. The real world cannot be perceived except through eyes forgiveness blesses. So they see a world where terror is impossible and witnesses to fear cannot be found. The real world holds a counterpart for each unhappy thought reflected in your world. A sure connection for the sights of fear and sounds of battle that your world contains. The real world shows a world seen differently, through quiet eyes and with a mind at peace. Nothing but rest is here. There are no cries of pain and sorrow heard, for nothing here remains outside of forgiveness. And the sights are gentle. Only happy sights and sounds can reach the mind that has forgiven itself. So this has been just a brief overview of a very large teaching. I tried to consolidate it into 20 minutes, and I know you guys are hungry, so I need to finish. You may be asking how, okay, yeah, all of this is starting to make a little bit of sense. How do I forgive? I am going to be doing a workshop next Saturday at Kentucky Grace. If you have something that you want to practice forgiving with us, you are more than welcome to join us. There's a flyer on the bulletin board that gives all the details to that, and I do still have some space available. Would love to have you all join us if you'd like to do that. And then, of course, I'm looking out on these beautiful ACIM, my mighty companions that are in this room, as we like to call them. We meet every Thursday night from 6:30 to 8 here back in the classroom, and we're vulnerable together. We have we read the text and then we discuss and try to process through what this thing means. And it's not easy. And we all help each other in that process. process, and so you are always welcome to join us for that as well. You don't have to have studied the course. We'll bring you into the fold. So I'll just want to finish with one thought. Once we remember who we are in complete truth, there is nothing really to even forgive. And that's the paradox of all of it. We are touching the radiant hem of a non-dualistic perception of oneness. This is the ultimate teaching of the Course. When you want only love, you will see nothing else. So I pray that everyone know this experience.